Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your summer solstice or your winter solstice if you're in the Southern Hemisphere reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see, Leo, let's start off with the energy we should be mindful of during this solstice. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. So this is the Five of Swords. So what's going to be brought up during this time is a battle that we have already been through. And we're going to kind of be doubting the way that we're moving ourselves forward, like what we are expecting, what we want. There's a real sense of, how do I come forward from this? Because we're going to be faced with a certain challenge that we might have thought, okay, this is all done with, I don't have to face this ever again. Or, which is much more likely, we're going to be faced with a challenge that we really didn't assert ourselves in the first time. And now there's a real sense of, I have to stand tall, I have to believe in myself, and I have to move me forward. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And we have two right here. This is the sacral chakra and the earth star chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. Our relationships are going to be super important, and we're also going to be feeling rather reborn during this time. This is a time of transformation. This is a time of power, and the relationships that we have with those that we love, but also with ourselves, is going to be heightened during the summer solstice. And we're going to be seeing ourselves in a new light, and almost as if we're breaking out of a shell. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I really like this, especially down here. We have a real sense of this time illuminating us, helping us to move forward. The beginning of the Cancer time period is, June 21st to July 22nd. And that's right when the summer solstice begins, or the winter solstice, of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere. Now, what we're looking at here is the theme for this summer and what our spirit guides are trying to tell us. This is the Ace of Wands. This is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, really handing us a gift of passion, of a fire, of intuition, of a sense of, this is what I desire. This is the reason we get out of bed in the morning. And Leo, we're going to be finding that spark is really reunited during this time. And we're going to feel much more kind of steadied within ourselves, much more inspired. Our spirit guides are also showing us ways of inspiration. And they're also going to be showing us things that are rather toxic for us during this time, things that we should be avoiding or moving away from. Now, what is grounding us during this time and in our lives, and how will we be growing for this solstice, is the Eight of Cups. we're walking away from something we once thought we would love. What we're going to find here is that we're growing rapidly in the sense of, I'm on this journey for me. I'm looking at things that I need. I'm taking steps that I need for myself. We're going to really be embracing our voice. We're going to be looking at the bigger picture much more openly for ourselves. And we're also going to be kind of leaving things behind that no longer fit, that no longer are in alignment with what we're looking for and what we want. Now, this moves us to, where do we need the fire for the summer? Or, where do we really need to hone in the fire to warm us if we're in the southern hemisphere? And how do we ignite our life? So here with the Six of Pentacles, we need to put things in balance. There's a real sense that balancing work and home can be challenging, it can be overwhelming for us, and we're needing to find that steady ground, that centering for ourselves. We also need to know when we're putting too much on ourselves. We can be so overburdened that we push things out until the very last minute, and then we're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this instantaneously, and we're just setting like fires in our lives, and we're overburdening us. So just be aware of this. Be aware that this could be an internal thing, but also be aware that this can be from other people, where we're trying to balance everything. We're trying to make things kind of just right, and it doesn't seem to be working out. So what we need to really understand is that we need to prioritize what's important for us, and then say, okay, everything can wait. The other things can be done later on. Now, it'll move us to how we are helping the intentions and how we are planning to construct and grow during this time. And this is the King of Cups. This is very much leading us into that water sign energy, but this is also the start of the Cancer time period. And we're really powerful during this time, in a sense of what we love, in a sense of what we're looking for, in a sense of what's important to us, and how we're looking at the bigger picture. There's a real focus here during this time on the opening of our heart. There's also a real focus on people who help us to see what we want, to see what we've been longing for, to see what we really need within our lives. So the heart is going to be a huge focus for us, and people who really connect with our emotions. The King of Cups says, lead your way. Embrace your heart, embrace what you love, embrace what you want, and lead by action. And that's what we're going to be doing during this time. We're also going to be very inspired by people who lead by the action of their passion. It leads us then to this creative energy reaching its crescendo on the 1st of August. Now, this is the beginning of the harvest season. It is called, and I do apologize if I butchered this name, Lunasa. And so here with the Chariot energy, it's like this is where we're really learning how to take the reins. During this summer solstice, during this time of passionate insight, I really see the light on the motorbike right here as the third eye, as the, the evil eye, the warding against evil coming forward and really guiding us. It's like, okay, take this path, like move forward like this. Look at what you're desiring, what you need. And it's because we are taking the reins. It's because we are looking at things with so much more openness and honesty and determination for ourselves. It leads us then to how we can make this time and how we can really take advantage of the fullness that is coming in and make this time really work for us. It's the sun. It's letting our gifts shine. We are ruled by the sun, so the sun's energy is very powerful for us. The summer solstice is a very powerful time for us because the sun's energy comes up even more, and it's really intense here. So here, as we're looking at our illumination, as we're looking at what we want and what we love and what's important to us, we're starting to stand tall within ourselves. We're starting to look at the bigger picture of where we need to be, but we're also looking at that this is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. And we're saying, this is what I love, this is what I need in my life, and this is how I hold my head up with pride. And I do apologize if you can hear my nephew kind of having a bit of a fit. The summer solstice is also an accumulation of the sun's life and the sun's energy for us. So this is a time where what began during the winter solstice, so the intention that we're setting in the winter solstice, if we're in the southern hemisphere, can grow. Now, this is very interesting because this intention has been the 9 of Swords. So either we set this in the winter solstice without even realizing it, or we're setting it now. So we have to be very mindful of this with the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is doubt, it's fear, it's worrying, it's being too much in our own heads, it's being overwhelmed. And so this is a pattern that we've set up of worry, doubt, fear, and chaos for ourselves. We need to be very aware of this because we need to nip it in the bud. We need to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not being led down this path like this anymore. And I'm not giving away my peace to chaos. And so as we're acknowledging this, it also moves us to what we need to release and let go of from the first half of the year. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. We need to release and let go of the constant chaos, of the constant, change, and thinking that nothing is stable, nothing has security to it. And we're looking at this now and saying, okay, a door has been opened, but I walk through one door at a time. We're going to try and take on too much. This is where the balancing has very much come into play here, the Six of Pentacles. We need to balance, we need to understand, and we need to say one door opens at a time. Because right now we feel like every moment is the Wheel of Fortune. Every moment is a new season starting, a change coming in, us being kind of spun about in a way that's rather chaotic and rather overwhelming. It then brings us to the place of, if we do the work, if we put in the time during this summer solstice, if we really look at what we want, where do we end up? And this is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is we end up with a path that's open to us that we hadn't expected, a road forward that we didn't think could be ours. We always saw, very distinct ways to achieve our goals. And this is saying, what, it's time to think out of, our comfort zone, or out of the way that we were looking at things before. Also, opportunities are going to come to us that we just hadn't imagined. I don't even think that this is very much something that we're going to be doing. How do I say this? So what Spirit is saying is this happens very organically. This change, this growing, this, things coming together. And if we try to plan it, if we try to say, okay, I know something big is going to change during this time, and so during the solstice, during this time of summer, I have to, push so that new doors can open up. If we do that, there's going to be hiccups along the way. We're going to be trying to force things. We have to learn how to move with the flow of change, and that's going to be very important. And that's something that we have been looking at and have been experiencing during this time. So what Spirit is showing here is that not only has the change been taking us by surprise, and we feel like, okay, I have to go through one change after another. Sometimes, and what Spirit is saying is that sometimes things just get out of hand. Like, we can't stop the way the world is moving us forward. And here, it's as we're looking at that change, as we're adapting, as we're seeing ourselves, as we're growing and becoming, as we are reborn, and really focusing on the Earth Star Chakra, we are going to find that paths open up that we hadn't realized. So where this feels, and this really did feel, the Wheel of Fortune, like a very negative card when it first came, it's preparing us for a path forward that if we didn't go through the trouble, if we didn't go through the hurts and the pains and the disappointment and the strife, we wouldn't get here. So just be very aware of that. Now it moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And this is the Seven of Pentacles. This is being patient. We have to be patient with our money. We have to be patient with our growth and the way that we're moving forward. Because there's this underlying frustration. Of course, it could be from the way of the world and everything like that. But it's also this frustration with ourselves. We're taking it very, very personally, which again makes perfect sense. But Spirit is saying here, be patient. You're going to see that things are really changing. And as much as you worry, you will not be able to worry the change and make things move forward. It's kind of like, okay, I have to look at with acceptance and understanding of the way that I'm moving forward, of what I want, of what needs to be done. We're also looking here, and I do know that we have this rainbow. I don't know if you can see it right back here. We have him cutting down holly, but whenever I look, and holly is a plant of celebration, but whenever I look at this card, I see it as cutting down ivy. And ivy is a plant that could kill, that could take down a huge oak. So in Celtic time, and these are Celtic cards, it was considered a very powerful and very, intense plant to be aware of. We're going to be seeing here us cutting down the poison that has been growing within us, that has been keeping us small, keeping us held back. And that's going to be a very important, very powerful thing. We're releasing a lot of toxicity that has been trying to stop us. It moves us to our chakra energy, which is again I don't know if this is again, no, it's not again, is it? So this is the third eye chakra, and we have visualization coming forward. We need to visualize, see, and look at what we want. We need to see it in our mind's eye, because there's a sense here of things going in a very different direction. And so as we're visualizing where we want to be, how we view our success, we also need to leave in wiggle room, because if we're so set on it has to be just one certain way, we're going to miss a lot of opportunities that are coming to us, a lot of ways forward that we hadn't imagined. So visualizing our end goal, but also not being so so stuck to, it has to be just like this, is going to be very important. And I do know visualization, it gets a bad rap because people visualize, people say, oh, this is what I want, this is what I need. And I have a link in the description box below of the Law and the Promise. I believe that's the name of the book. And it's on YouTube, but it's all about the art of imagining and the art of seeing. And so here, it's really cultivating that art of imagination, that art of seeing what it is that we really want and how it is that we move forward for ourselves. And that art of visualization, that art of imagining, is going to be one of the most important things during the summer solstice and during our lives. It moves us to our subconscious tarot energy, and it's the Hermit. It's Virgo energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Virgo, this is going to be a huge part of our personality. But there's also a sense subconsciously that we're turning inward. We're seeing the illumination that we want. Remember, the sun is very important to us. And so we have that illumination here coming forward, even if it is in, this small globe or, a little candle, which is the traditional viewing of what the Hermit is holding. What we're going to see is that a light is lit within us, and that follows our passion. And that's going to be what guides us during this time. It's letting ourselves shine. It's looking at what we really want. Some really big realizations are going to be met during the summer solstice. So just be aware of this. It's going to be more subconscious. We're going to think, oh, I should be in the middle of everything. Subconsciously, we're going to be pulling into ourselves more, and that's going to be a very positive thing. All right, Leo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time, of this summer solstice, and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo, and may you have a blessed summer solstice.